All right, is everybody ready for this? Hey, D. Johns, Heidi, Bell. I seen LT up there. I saw V for Vets up there. Put your link down, bud. Shit. I need to put a banner up. This show for the first hour is going to be vets. Me for the first, I don't know how many minutes before I get a vet up here, but I'm going to invite copy, go down here and paste and put it in chat. And you guys, only vets on panel for the first hour, please. I just want to, I have some questions that I want to ask for all vets. And I'm sure that there's going to be a lot of vets that want to, ask some questions of other vets, in their curiosity. I, for one, oh shit. But anyways, I'm sitting here reading messages and I shouldn't be. All right, I'm going to pin this. Oh shit. That ain't what I wanted to do. Yes, now pin the message. Damn it. Okay. Do y'all see it up there? I see it up there. Hey, Brian Butler. V for Vets. Variety TV. How's everybody doing? Now, I know this man's a vet for sure. How you doing, KY?
Hello, everybody. Nah, you're lying.
All right.
What was your first clue?
Hey, right.
Hey, move over, KY. Move over.
Yeah.
Fight me.
All right. I got a message this afternoon.
Okay.
Okay. NY Tyrant Hutter's in here. Okay. This came from a fellow vet, and he said, okay, this one's for the whole panel. Do you think that more and more people are forgetting, not caring about veterans, about a veteran service? And it says, and why do you think that is? And I answered him. I said, I definitely do. Hey, Foulmouth, I'm reading what you wrote earlier.
What's going on, guys? Sorry, I'm getting back from court. I had court this today, so I was a little busy.
You look all proper.
Oh man, I got fucking
Button-down shirt and everything.
Well, I have my sports jacket and everything, and
yep,
gets a little warm here in Texas. So,
did you win?
We got a reset. Suppression hearing.
Damn it.
Yeah, I spent a few years at Fort Hood, so I'm well aware.
Fort Hood is
75 to 78.
Another vet.
And then 81 to 83.
Michelle, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. Upstate out you. Hey, KY.
Hey, Michelle. Hey, Michelle.
Hey,
Hello,
Michelle.
everybody. If I could, just a second. Hello, everybody in chat, in case I missed you. Hello, everybody.
Yeah, same here.
I don't want to say hi there. I'd be here 10 minutes saying hi to everybody.
Wow, Michelle took off.
He's
She'll
there.
be back.
She's right there now.
Oh.
I brought her back up. Blackburn Audits.
Hey, Rights, how you doing?
Doing good. How you been doing?
I'm doing fine.
Michelle, you sound like you're in a tunnel.
No, I'm in my car.
All right, he's using the car speaker. All right, that explains that.
Oh, that's it. Hey,
We have anything going on tonight? KY?
No, we've got some private panel work to do, so for in preparation for tomorrow's panel, but no.
I'll be getting a hold of you guys today.
Okay. All right. That's what I'm not going to miss nothing.
Right, you're on. It's your turn for interview, correct?
Yeah. That's I gotta get a hold of you guys tonight about it. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got to watch the pole dancing videos. You know, get all ready.
Oh man, you just took all my secrets. Oh man. Dang.
Nothing better than watching Bud pole dance.
I love it.
You got to make sure he's got that slit up the side.
Hope you get the batteries.
The car battery, and the banana clips, and play toys.
He went to do something with his dog this morning and he fell. He just barely got up.
Oh,
damn.
Is he okay?
He's okay, but yeah. Bite me, KY. You're welcome, Bud.
Oh, Bud's here. Oh,
yeah,
I can't say nothing. I can't say nothing bad about him.
Yeah, you can.
KY.
Yeah, you can.
Hey, I wanted to ask all you guys, since you all are all up here, there's 5 of us. What exactly were your what if any kind of trouble were you in, and did you adapt to civilian life easily?
Trouble in like lawful or in the military?
Lawful.
I wasn't in any trouble.
Me either.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't either.
You need to get that post off of there. Adolf Hitler Nazi.
I wasn't in any trouble until I picked up the camera.
Just a second. Upstate, you need to get that off. Take that off.
Motherfucker. There we go.
Yeah.
All right. I have some mods out there.
Yeah, they should have done that. They should have taken care of that.
I shouldn't have seen it. I just timed them out. If somebody wants to boot that fucker.
Yeah, somebody needs to block that person. Yeah. We don't need to get the channel taken down. There's no need for that kind of stuff. I had gotten my bachelor's degree in business because, I was a Vietnam era vet, and I had the Vietnam era school benefits. I got my a BA in business, and I put applications in for a year, and everyone told me, "Well, you're 49 years old, and you don't have any experience, so we aren't willing to hire you." All right, they got a lot of good. My bachelor's degree, did you? The only one that I got an answer for was a small business of 12, a startup here in Louisville They wanted to be the marketing manager. I didn't take marketing. I was not what I went to school for. I didn't think I'd be good in marketing. And they wanted to hire me at $55,000 a year to be the marketing manager. And I said, "How long have you been in business?" He said, "Only 8 months." And I thought to myself, okay, they've been in business 8 months and now they're hiring a marketing manager. Well, they must have fired the last guy. I think what they're doing is they're setting me up for failure. That's what it sounded like to me. So I declined the offer. I said, "No, I don't need that kind of addition to my resume." Yeah, I got a job, and 3 months later they fired me because I wasn't qualified to do the job. Hello, Brian. News New England,
Wow.
welcome. But the problem is, because I was hurt and recuperating, I finished my enlistment, and then 2 weeks after we closed on the house, and of course we moved off of post and I'm in here to Louisville, my wife got hurt on the job and lost her job. So we went from having 2 full-time jobs to no jobs 2 weeks after I got out of the Army.
Damn.
and just closed on the house.
Wow.
So yeah, I was between a rock and a hard place. Well, I had done some prior planning, and I had saved up 3 months of leave. So when I got out, I wasn't actually out. I was on terminal leave for 3 months.
So you still got paid.
I got paid from the Army for 3 months after I didn't have to go anymore. That's just called good prior planning.
All right.
Hey, DJ.
So that gave me a 3-month cushion.
Hey,
Actually,
DJ.
4 months, because you're always a month behind on your pay. It gave me 4 months to find a job, even though I've been looking for one for 6 months already. So, and I didn't find anything. So I started working part-time wherever I could, or full-time wherever I could, until I found the job at the Whitmix Corporation as a machinist, making $12 an hour. So
I was kind of worried about Bud last night. Seriously.
yeah, he was. I was getting ready to call the police and then tell them that, hey, you need your welfare check. He fell, he can't get up, and give him the address. And
Remember that commercial?
I fell and I can't get up.
I'm falling and I can't get up.
His one leg is that bad. So
I told him he better keep that dang car battery and banana clips right beside his chair so he can get his juice, get a good power pack to his butt.
Yeah.
Yeah, we wanted to see Spark shoot out of his butt.
I would have. Oh my
Look
god.
like firecrackers coming out.
sparks out of his ears, his eyes, his nose. Yeah, it would have been. But
Oh my god. Hey, Falmouth, you wanna ask that question, or do you want me to ask that one?
Let me see what I got here. I didn't have any problem with. I had some problems with transitioning a little bit, but I was medically retired, so it was a little easier with me. They worked me into the vocational rehabilitation program, and it was easier to go through the schooling and kind of find employment a little easier.
Did you get the GI plan, or
what year did you retire?
Yeah, I definitely had the GI Bill. I got medically retired in 2013.
13, okay.
Yeah.
I was already retired for 12 years already.
Let's see. So the question I had, let me find it. Let's see. The one about the law, or are you talking about the second one?
the second one? The one
Okay,
you
so
said
there
was definitely for the panel.
Yeah. So the question I had is, do you think that more and more people are forgetting or not caring about veteran service, and why do you think that?
I think so. Yes. Take any veterans parade; they're getting less and less populated. The young people, the millennials, they don't care about anything. They pull up to a stop sign, they dump their garbage on the street. They go to a park, their garbage is on the ground. Even though a garbage bucket could be 10 feet away, they're too lazy to walk 10 feet and drop it in the garbage bucket. Cigarette butts everywhere. Yeah, they drink a soda bottle, they throw it on the ground. They smoke a cigarette, they throw it on the ground. They're terrible.
Right.
Look
But
at
how does
the
that,
VFW.
Their parents didn't
VFW,
teach
you
them
go
that.
into the VFW, there's like fucking 5 people in there, and they're all old.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people are at least with the younger generations, a lot of the younger generations could care less about any of the veterans and the service that they serve unless they grew up in a military family, because the media is painting out to be that any veteran that serves is strictly for the corporate businesses and go over there to fight another man's war, and that they deserve anything that happens to them over there. And then I'm not going to say that there's not no truth to that, because I'm going to tell you right now, we definitely weren't in Iraq fighting fucking terrorists. Oh, excuse my language. But
exactly. No, we were there for oil.
Well, I think the last time we truly fought for freedom was probably in World War II. So
I agree.
I think that a lot of the generation now is just being conditioned to pretty much paint us out as veterans to be similar to the police.
Now, Vietnam was a police action. It wasn't really a war.
Same with Korea.
By treaty, we were required to assist them. That's why the French were. That's the same reason the French were there.
Same with Korea.
Same with Korea. Exactly.
Yeah, my dad was a POW in the Korean War for 3 years. Died as a POW and never came home. And I'm still fighting for. I got a record. The only record that survived, his file from National Archives in St. Louis, because of that 72 fire they had and burned up all the Vietnam and Korean files there, and I had a
hey Chesney.
I got a form. A government form saying that he should have had a bronze star with a V device, and they're trying to give me slack about it. And and you know, I proved that he should have had it, but they're trying to go back on what records they have or what records they might be able to reconstruct, and saying that they can't find any other evidence on that.
Have you contacted your congressman?
Oh yeah.
You're talking about the fire, right? The fire that destroyed all the records.
Yeah. Oh, it didn't destroy all the records, but it destroyed a majority of the Korean and the Vietnam era.
Right. And so I and I'm fighting that now. I fought for us. See, what happened was they would back then, Korea, they didn't keep very good records, and they was in such a big hurry, they didn't put everything on the right line on your DD-214. And
you have to remember they had typewriters back then, and everything was in carbon sets.
Right.
So sometimes when you would roll a carbon set, the papers underneath would move and things weren't exactly lined up.
Right. They put him being a POW instead of the right line number on the DD-214. They put it down in the remarks section.
Holy shit.
Hey, Upstate.
Yeah.
I didn't realize just until now where it says only vets on panel the first hour. I do apologize. I'm not a vet, but my dad is. But I just wanted to come up and say hello. I can drop down if you want me to. I mean, I don't want to break the rules.
Nah, go ahead. Stay there.
You could probably talk depending on what the questions are. Maybe it's family related, you know.
Yeah.
So just hang tight.
Okay. Well, I didn't mean to interrupt you there, Michelle Bruce.
Okay, no problem. And and I fought for 3 years before my mom passed 2 years ago, and I've been fighting for her before she passed to get all of his medals, and they came probably 6 months before she passed away.
Damn.
Okay?
Wow.
Korean War medal, his UN medal. He had his Korean War medal. He had three gold stars on his
Hey, Glenn.
Korean
And
War medal.
Rose.
UN, then he's got the covert certificates and all that good stuff. And then he had, I don't know the Army, it's a half a reef with a long rifle in it.
God, I have one right here somewhere.
I can't remember what that is.
The expert is the rifle expert is
the combat infantry badge.
Oh yeah. The rifle. Okay, yeah, and it's blue.
Yeah, it goes through the middle of the half a reef or half
Means
a
he
reef.
fired his weapon over in war. You don't have to be infantry to get that.
Yeah, the Army gets an if you're an infantryman, you get a combat infantry badge. And if you're not infantry, then you get a combat action badge.
Right.
A reef with a bayonet.
Right.
Yeah, okay. This didn't have a bayonet. This was just a plain rifle with a half a reef on it.
Yeah, that's the combat. They have an expert infantry badge, which is it's just the rifle, I believe, behind you probably Google it. I wasn't infantry. I was a scout. So,
I wasn't infantry either, so I can't.
Yeah, he was in Camp 1 over in Korea, which they made 2 Camp 1s. Because Camp 1 was that's where the biggest POW camp they had in Korea, and so they had to make 2 of them. And so he was a sergeant, and he was highly decorated. Like I said, it just hard, just hard to. It was just hard for me to, I'm still fighting for that V device and that Bronze Star. So.
I got a question for you guys. After your how would you think your attitude or your feelings toward the military after your military service? How do you feel about that? Would you do it again?
Yeah, I would.
Oh yeah.
I said that last night. It doesn't matter if I'm disabled or not. At least I can be behind a damn desk pushing papers and being a quartermaster or getting supplies to the units.
There's 1,000 jobs you can do where you don't have to be on the front line.
Right. I mean, I go right back in.
I'd go on the front line, and I'm 55. But I think they could benefit from my shooting. So,
how do you think?
I too. I'm with my shooting too, but I'm disabled, so they're not going to put me on the front line no matter.
I can run like a deer still.
Only if his wife's chasing him.
Hey, I can run faster scared than she can mad.
How does that upstate venison taste?
Yeah, no.
How do you think how do you guys think that your military service or anything that you've been through in your time of service has affected your thought process when it comes to your relationships with your significant others? Even to include your children or your grandchildren.
Oh, it changes your thought process.
Yeah, it changes everything.
Oh yeah, completely.
You don't come back the same person if you've been in war.
Just joining the military changes your thought processes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But
do you find
I'm single, so I don't have to worry about no spouse. I don't have kids.
Same here.
Except for 3 fur babies, 3 dogs, and other than that, that's all the family I got. Besides, my YouTube fellow vets up on panel with me.
Do you think that the training and the things that's been, and I say conditioned you because we all know that the military service conditions you to operate a certain way. Do you think that has affected anything in your life, such as allowing you to make decisions that you may not would have made had you not served?
Well, put it like this: I think all of us veterans, when you volunteer for something, you won't volunteer for nothing else.
That's a right.
No, I still.
I volunteered for two things when I went. I volunteered to go, and I volunteered to utilize the most destructive vehicle we have. The one that, if it gets hit, you're fucked.
Well, do you think that the military service has conditioned your mind in order to be successful back in the civilian world, or do you think it's in some ways we show that it's hindered us in some ways, but do you think overall, it's a mindset that would set you up for success?
Yes,
especially this time, especially with the things that are going on now.
It comes with a price, because in the military, when you tell one of your subordinates, okay,
they
do
taught
that,
you to adapt and overcome.
Yeah, but here's the thing: when you're there, and your sergeant says, "Go do that," you go do it. In the civilian world, when you're in an authority, a lead person or a supervisor, you tell someone to go do that, they don't necessarily go do that.
Well, how do you think that mindset pertains when it comes to authority, such as law enforcement? For a veteran, how do you think that would alter the decision-making process?
I shoot all law enforcement a bird, even my friends that are cops. If they're wearing that uniform, I shoot them a bird.
Okay.
I
don't give
that's not a uniform, though. That's a clown costume.
I look at everything they do with a jaundiced eye, because after watching video after video of them doing wrong, oh, you can't do that. You're not allowed. Yes, I can. I certainly can. They tell you, no, you can't. You're wrong.
Well, this is the way I think of it, and you guys can agree to me or not disagree with me, but this is the way I think of it. When I swore the oath, and we were told that we were to follow orders unless they were unlawful orders.
Correct.
And I will follow that until the day that I die. I'm not going to follow unlawful orders as it pertains to the military service, and I'm not going to follow unlawful orders in the civilian world either.
When we got out, we never gave up that oath. We never retracted that oath. We still have that oath.
What is the main thing that the Geneva Convention does not authorize? You cannot do this under the Geneva Convention. What is it?
I used to know that.
You can't use hollow points.
Hollow points.
Yeah.
Well, there's certain kinds of beside hollow points you cannot use.
You know how many people in Saudi Arabia got busted with hollow points?
No.
Fuckloads.
How come they had hollow points? Were they buying their own?
They were having that shit mailed to them.
Well, they were buying their own. They were.
Well,
people were sending them,
and both of them, the sender and the receiver, got it.
You bet.
Well, get back to what's the name's question earlier. See, when I didn't have a transition period. When I came out, I was put out wet. I went transition from military life back into civilian life, like most people are.
Well, I think we can all agree that there's one thing that was never, and it just goes back to what y'all just stated. There's one thing that was never asked to be returned in CIF when we went back to CIF to get out, and that was our oath. And it states that I'm not going to follow unlawful orders of any officers or any orders that are above me, but at the same time I'm not going to follow any unlawful orders when it pertains to the police. If we're going to truly honor this oath and continue to live this for the rest of our lives, then this means to at some point in time when this shit starts to hit the fan, that we may be offered as the sacrifice in the front line as we were once before, and would hope that the people that were going to wake up and stand in our place, because if not, then we fall for nothing.
And that's
I would
what
rather
they
have I would rather have an army of sheep led by a lion than an army of lions led by sheep. And we need to realize that we are the lions. And if we don't pick this up and we don't make the movement forward and try to change the mindsets of what's going on in this world, we're going to lose this fight. And everything our brothers served and fought for is for nothing.
You know, our oath does never die. Okay, I can't say that
it dies
ever.
when we die. It dies when we die.
Well, a cop, they take that oath and it kind of dies whenever they fucking
feel like it.
Yeah. Like as soon as they got out of being a policeman,
my buddy from the
retired.
other precinct is driving drunk, and I pulled him over. And oh, hi Jeff, you know, yeah, I'm a little over it. Well, you know, take it easy, go on. You know, that
I've seen that so many times. I've seen that so many times.
Well, we as
that's
veterans,
that thin blue line.
Yeah. Or the judge, that video of the one judge, he was doing 23 over in a school zone. And the cop pulled him over. You realize who I am? Yeah, you're a cop. You're speeding in the school zone. Here's your ticket. He did the right thing. And of course, the judge, I'm sure he had it dismissed once he was hotter than a $2 pistol. But yeah. And I seen another one where a judge turned the corner wrong and he got pulled over. You realize who I am? You can run my plate, you know. And the guy said, "Oh, have a good day. You know, slow down, make sure you drive right." How does he figure he's any better than any other civilian? He's not. You're a judge. You're supposed to set the example, not be the example of I'm better than everybody else. But they don't feel that way. Once they get that power, they don't want to relinquish it.
Well, that's because the power has altered their morals and their ethics. That's the problem.
Corrupts. That's right.
Yep.
I mean, honestly, power corrupts, you know, and if their whole mindset, whether they were a veteran or not, man, we got to understand that a lot of our brothers are now law enforcement, and they're the ones that are hurting the civilians and doing the things that we're trying to get rid of.
Right.
So at one point in time, we have to we as veterans, we police ourselves, but we also police our brothers. And when were we ever told that we are not to police each other up, even if because they decide to put on a badge?
That's like policing your brass.
That's right. I mean, I'm not going to, if I see an officer and he's a fellow veteran and he's acting in a manner that is obviously not according to his oath, then not only am I going to hold him accountable to his oath that he swore for that sorry ass badge he wears, but also to the time that he put on the uniform and the blood oath that he took.
That's not a uniform. That's a fucking clown costume.
All I'm saying is that we're falling wayside.
The only uniform that was ever worn is worn by a fucking person in the military. That is a uniform.
I agree, but I'm saying is that us as veterans need to realize that no matter how old we are, or no matter how disabled we are, we still have something to offer to the people in this country. And even if that's knowledge and teaching the generations below us on the history of what was fought for and what not to lose and what not to give away. The greatest thing I fear is passing on a country to my grandchildren or my children to where they don't even know the rights even existed that we had. We're losing that. We're not winning this fight, guys. We're losing this fight.
Yeah, it's going
the young people, this cancel culture. Oh, we don't want to remember the Civil War. We don't want to remember the Korean War, Vietnam War. Yes, you do, because we don't want to repeat it. Those statues are a reminder. Those statues are up there as a reminder what we did wrong as well as what we did right. And they shouldn't tear them down and hide them in the back of a warehouse somewhere. They should leave them up because it's a reminder of what previous generations did wrong. That's my opinion.
So I'm asking my brothers on the panel, then what is the solution to that problem? What is the solution to the cancel culture that's happening in this country? Do we stand idle and let it fall by the wayside and watch our generations of children below us just die and disintegrate the liberty and the sovereignty of this country?
That's why
We're not doing anything. We're standing aside. We're not doing nothing.
That's why there's many of us that talk and think the same way we do.
We need solutions.
Fighting the fight. And yeah,
Right.
there's never going to be a solution until, well, you know,
we're going to lose everything that our brothers and sisters fought for before us and after us, unless us veterans that no longer serve decide to do something, whether it's picking up a camera, whether it's talking to your neighbors, educating your children, stop the indoctrination of the future, because that's what's happening now.
That's right.
That is a right.
Yeah,
I love my brothers and sisters, man, and I just don't want to see everything that we helped defend and everything that was fought before go to shit.
That's why these kids here, they both know how to shoot very well, and they didn't know how to really before. And I taught them, you know, breathing and trigger control and all that shit. And I taught them last year in about 3 days how to do everything. One was kind of, you know, don't do this and don't do that, and I'll do it my way and shit like that. And I kind of calmed him down and got him to think straight, and he was able to shoot. Well, just here a while back, he went up and him and a friend with the same 22 had a contest, and he was hitting dead center every time that other kid was all over the place.
That's breathing control, probably.
Yeah.
Well,
steady hold against the cheek weld, and probably breaking that weld, and then he's probably not controlling his breathing. He's probably jerking the trigger instead of pulling.
Well, I showed him that I can not even hold the gun and shoot just as straight as he can if he can hit dead center. You know, he cut out the little cross. That was cooler than shit. He brought the little target back and everything. He has it in his room somewhere.
I mean, it's always good to prepare for the fight. I mean, you know, firearms training is at least in my household is mandated for firearm training. And
oh yeah,
I mean,
they got married in '70s.
But what I'm talking about is the involvement in our communities. Is what I'm talking about, guys. I'm talking about the involvement in our communities. Yep. Us as veterans can offer our time to the children in the community and the recreation centers and do something to teach them about the true, you know, the education portion of what this country was founded on and how we can move forward together, because that's the only way we're going to move forward is together. The hate between one another and the hate between the left side and right side and all that other garbage is the problem. And unless we identify the problem and we start finding solutions and realize that the ones that they're attacking is the history and the education of our future, then we're never going to make a change.
All right. Now let me say something. I'm a little bit different than you guys are, apparently. For one thing, as of right now, the way the government is running, I wouldn't defend this country at all because of how this country is being run. Your problem is your government. That's the people who's causing all this shit. Excuse the expression. I'm getting a little bit aggravated. They're purposely destroying this America. They want a one world order. You got globalists taking care of the elites. And it's ridiculous. Now, I come out of the military, and I'm glad I was in the military. Don't get me wrong. It straightened me up. I was a little snotty little kid, and I came out as a man. But I'll tell you something. What our government is doing to our children, what they're doing right now is totally wrong. And if we need millions of people, even if it's veterans or civilians, to go to the Capitol and start protesting or start writing, start calling, but people don't want to do it. They're too scared. They got fear in them. Where us military men don't have it. I mean, if something happens, we're all going to stick together. There's no doubt about it. Us military guys. But it takes more than just military. It takes the whole United States to stick together. We are their bosses. And I'm sick of our government. Totally sick of it. I can't even get any help at a VA center. I went to 2 VAs and I'm handicapped because of it. Because they have qualified immunity, just like a cop does.
Yeah.
I hate that the younger generation calls them fucking leaders. They're not the leaders we are.
That's right. That's right. And I'll tell you something else.
That's the dumbing down of America.
Mhm.
And
Well,
it starts with them because we already know, they're the up and coming. We're going to die off.
Right. This is what.
Go ahead, right.
Michelle, could you mute until you talk?
Who,
A
me?
lot of background noise.
Who to what?
Thank you. No, there's a lot of background noise coming from
feedback.
Feedback. Yeah.
Go ahead, right.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Anyway, it's just like a cop. Okay. Now they have a union backing them up. They got qualified immunity. What's the military have? Nothing. Nothing at all. They have no union backing them up. They ain't got the government backing them up. And it's a damn shame how they treat us vets. And I'm sick of it. Totally sick of it. KY knows me. Bud knows me. DJ knows me. And believe me, I love America. I love my Constitution. But they're destroying this country purposely for their freaking greed and our children. The CRT. And you know what's going on out there. I can't really say it on here, but it just irks the little daylights on it.
And you know what, right? What you're saying, right, solidifies my point that I was trying to make.
Hey, hold on, guys. Just 1 second. I gotta address somebody in the basement. Glenn, come back in about 20 minutes because only the vets are on panel right now. You see that banner going across the bottom of the screen? Just for the first hour. Come up at 5 o'clock, brother.
18 minutes.
No, I have to say, I mean, right here, I mean, you get it, man. You understand and you see what's on. Your eyes are open, man. And I see the exact same thing that's happening. And part of the reason why I pulled my children out of the public school system is, to educate them myself. I mean, look at a lot of the people that truly believe in the sovereignty and the liberty of this country. And I mean, they don't send their kids to public school systems, man.
No, they don't.
Why do you think that is? You think our forefathers went to public school? It's like you said, it's not, none of us, no matter how hard us veterans fight, no matter how hard we try to wake people up, we're just, we're labeled as the dumb, crazy, mental health driven, irritable, angry people that are just upset with the government because of the things that we were put through. And it's not the case. It's just some of the life experiences that you gain when you're in the military, especially when you're deployed, or if you've ever been deployed. People need to realize what this country or what this government is capable of, and to see it being done to our own people, to see the things that were happening over there being done to our own people is frightful, man.
It's not a matter of Republican or Democrat. It's the rich who are those people in powers of position manipulating the rest of us for their own gain. And that's all it's about. That's what's making us mad. If it was for the benefit of the country, it'd be one thing, but it's not. It's for the benefit of the rich at the expense of the middle and lower poor classes.
And they don't honor their contract. The government don't.
No, they don't.
When I come out of the service and I needed help for medical, they destroyed my life. I mean, I can't even. I'm in heating and cooling for 32 years, and they destroyed it. 14 years of VA hospital, 2 VA hospitals, Ann Arbor, Michigan, and John Deagle in Detroit, Michigan. I had to pay for my own handicap scooter and scooter lift because they denied me one. I had to pay it for myself. Did you think they said sorry? They didn't care. They didn't give a shit.
Well, I think it's by design. I think they want us veterans all doped up on mental health pills and antipsychotics and, give us, government, healthcare, government, whatever the hell. I think they want that. I think they want us dumbed down.
Sure.
They want us crazy or acting crazy and all that other shit. I mean, I think they know that we could multiply ourselves times however many we wanted to, and really build something that could possibly overthrow the tyranny that's going on in this country. But I believe you're right. Rights is that they're shitting on everything in this country right now, and whether we like to admit it or not, and unless the people like to admit it or not, they're solidifying the slaves to this country through the monetary system and the debt systems. I mean, look, $1.2 trillion that they just passed, and then they passed amnesty for all the refugees in this country. And then there's 120,000 more coming to the border of Texas. Texas has enacted the National Guard and all the DPS at the border. I mean, what is going on, man? If this is not enough to wake you the hell up, then what is gonna wake you up? That you fighting your neighbor for the glass of water or for food to feed your children? Is that what it's gonna take?
Yeah, it's coming down to it. And I'll tell you something else. Wait till they get that universal care system for the civilians. Oh, they got a rude awakening. Free health care? Yeah, right. I'll tell you what they're going to do with that. If a young kid has a problem, a defect all her life, they're going to decide whether it's worth it or not for that child to live. And if it's not worth it, they're going to kill that child. An adult, the same thing. If it costs more money for the government to keep you alive than what you can put out to them, they'll kill you. They're going to depopulate us, and that's what they're doing right now. And I got proof of it on
they're on their
blog.
way.
Yeah. I got it in my blog if people want to see it, or my stream. But I'm so sick of it.
Well, right now I believe they're after our the right to basically make decisions on our own. I think that's what they're attacking at this moment with attacking our conscientious objection to make decisions on our own for what benefits us as ourselves. I think that's what they're doing with the shot and all this other garbage they're pushing forward. People don't realize that if they allow this to happen, do you think it's going to stop there? I mean, think about it. We were told, the mask is going to only be worn for 2 weeks. It's only be worn for 2 weeks. Only be worn for 12 weeks. Oh, it's only going to be worn for a year. And look where we're at now.
Mm-hmm.
We're arresting people and throwing them in jail because of a piece of clothing.
Look at the people on January 6th, that so-called riot. They're in jail right now. They haven't been under due process yet, and they're treating those guys like shit.
Yeah, I've read some of the stuff on how they're treating them. The guards calling them fucking or white supremacists and throwing their food across the floor and all kinds of crap I've heard about the stuff that's going on. And then to those guys.
Well, I want to tell you something about that. Go on.
Well, I'm just saying that the people think that this is not going to happen to them. You guys better get ready to get loaded up on the death trains, because that's what's fixing to happen.
Exactly. You got it.
Get ready for it. And then all the people that you called crazy and all the people that tried to put some knowledge into your brain and prepare you for what was fixing to happen. Yeah, we're the stupid ones. We're the crazy ones. We're the ones that just, have only seen what this government's capable of, to a third world country. But we're the stupid ones.
What gets me really aggravated?
We're allowing it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we are. One thing, we got a dictator. They're breaking our constitution, not even following it.
Left and right.
Yeah, and I'm tired of people out there screaming about race, Oh, it's the white people, it's the black people. No, it's not that. If a person comes up to me, regardless what color they are, if you got a good attitude, I'll treat you good. If you got a bad attitude, you suck. Get away from me. That's the problem right there. But this...
but they're feeding this hate, though.
I know.
They are.
They're feeding the hate, right? I mean, think about it, right? They're feeding the hate, dude. They're using the differences between the ideologies to feed the hate amongst the people to divide. The greatest fear is that black and white join together, brown and white join together, black and brown join together. They fear that so much that they use ideology to continue to tear us apart, and we do it to ourselves.
And the news
instead of being brothers and sisters, we destroy ourselves from within and spread the hate instead of loving one another and extending a hand for when somebody needs help.
And what do you hear on TV? First thing, we got our first black president, or we got our first senator. We got a first. No, we got a first American person. We all are American.
There you go.
There's no boundaries in this. Oh, never mind. Go on, guys. I'm
just like in the 50s and the early 1800s when our forefathers arrived. They were all different nationalities, and some of them hated each other. I mean, Poles, Czechoslovakians, all the different nationalities, Russians, Serbians, Bosnians, that they all disliked, but they knew that they had a better chance coming here, and it didn't matter. And there was prejudice then. The Irish were treated bad when they first came here. They were treated very badly. The Chinese were treated very badly. The Japanese, World War II, look what they did to them, putting them in camps, even though they weren't a threat. Because they were afraid, because of small minds.
Well, I believe in freedom of choice, man.
From them and never returned.
Well, all the stuff that's going on with this, this mandates and everything. I honestly have to say that I believe in the freedom of choice. You have the freedom of choice to make your own decisions and make the best decision that you believe is what's best for you and your family. I don't believe we should mandate anything on somebody. It's not our right to mandate somebody's health care or all this other junk, man. That's your choice. We make the sole decisions and make these choices in life, and you are responsible for the consequences of that choice, whether that be you want to wear a mask, you don't want to wear a mask, you want to get the shot, you don't want to get the shot. What is it any of my business what you do with your life and your household? That's your business.
You make a choice, but you're responsible for the choice you make. Just like everything in life. Once you turn 18, you make a choice. But guess what? You are now responsible as an adult for the choices you make. So they shouldn't tell us what your choices can be.
And the bad thing about that, KY, is that if you do get the whatever, who pays for it? You have to pay for it if something happens.
That's right.
Put you more in debt. That's what they want you to do. They want you in debt. They don't want you to live. They don't want you to make it. They want you to bow down attorney to them. Oh, help us, help us. This is all going on. Crime, everything. Help us, government. And they're the ones that started it.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. There's only if I ever had, and he's coming back, but if there was any man that I'd ever bow down to, he died on the cross a long time ago, but I'll bow down to no other man.
Bless your heart, man. You're right. You're right.
Because I'd lead by fire. I take truth in my faith and try to move forward, and I just can't. I see what's going on in this country, man, and honestly, not only is it disappointing, but it I may take it more emotional than most people, but it hurts to see my people the way that they are. And when I say my people, I mean we as Americans.
We need more veterans out here. We do, to start sounding off like this. I mean, a lot of us veterans, but a lot of them are scared to even talk out here. I don't know why.
Well,
believe me, I love America. I do. I just don't like my government anymore.
And it's not just the red states or the blue states or the Democrats or independents or whatever. They're all against us.
That's right.
We'll keep the rich rich and the poor poor.
Or Republican or Democrat or independent, or whatever. They're part of how should I say this? A lot of them part of the New World Order. A lot of them wants the New World Order to come into play. And it doesn't matter what side you're on, the Democrat or Republican, and all the dark money on both sides, the lobbyists in there, influencing everybody, and on both sides of the aisle, it goes evenly across the board to everybody in Congress. As far as I'm concerned, they're all douchebags.
Well, let me ask you guys this: what do you think about? I mean, we're obviously here in America, we're a republic, right? And a republic is a land of laws. What do you believe? What do you think about the laws that go against or would contradict the when it pertains to obtaining freedom by life, liberty, and happiness.
That's a big stroke of the brush there, brother. That go in many different directions. Uh, I'll let somebody else talk on that. Let me think on that one for a minute.
All right.
You know, I've wanted to say this for the longest time. We started separating. We all started fighting each other and everything when we each took sides. This side's better than that side. You need to be here. You need to be there. Look, it's as good as baseball. You know, baseball. You want to be the World Series champs. You know, and so you want to get on the Yankees because they're the best, or the Dodgers because they're the best. And
Come on, fucking damn Spurs.
it's just like that. That's the way. I just thought of. I mean, you know, I just thought to myself, since the first president, actually not really, because he was appointed.
You talking about George Washington?
Yeah. But then there was Whigs? I don't think there was Republican yet.
No, they.
No, well, Abraham Lincoln was Republican.
We all started taking sides, man.
I agree. We all started taking sides upstate, but at what point in time did the government figure out that they could use fear to control the masses and condition them to?
That was started. I can tell you right where it started at. That was started. I would say during Nixon's years. The grandfather of the New World Order was Henry Kissinger, and that was part of his cabinet.
Damn. Holy fuck.
Well, it's very apparent that they know that fear controls the masses very well.
Yeah,
and they utilize that. It's just
without a doubt.
Yeah, when we just fall right into their hands, the population and the community, everything, we just fall right into their hands, and we allow them.
Look what Hitler did to the Jews. You don't think we didn't learn something then?
And they're using those same steps to control us now. Eliminate our freedom of speech, remove our guns, and they're in total control.
Yeah.
There it is. They're using the same steps today.
Look what happened in 1998 when Australia.
I'll be a motherfucker.
Look what happened in 1998 when Australia gave their guns away. Look what happened to them now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same playbook back then. So, and, you know, it's, what can I say? It's
again, like I said, if we forget history,
the history we've learned from our past, and believe me, the government has learned from the past. Believe me, them suckers learn from past history, even though the masses might not, and they might not even care nowadays. But the politicians and New World Order has learned from the past, and that's how come. And they already put all their stuff in order. That's how come. I mean, after 9/11 and all this, both the Patriot Act came out, and all this other stuff came out dealing with domestic terrorists as well as terrorists overseas. that's still in law, and so they learned quite a bit. And uh, uh, Bush, and I got the document to prove it. I got a PDF file on that, and I can send it to anybody in an email.
Go like this, Tammy.
They turned around and used
Yeah.
the Federalist Papers, which is memoirs or letters, has nothing to do with the Constitution,
Right.
and made it law to go around with the black site prisons, taking away your Fourth Amendment rights.
The Federalist Papers are not law. They're not a rule. They're not the Constitution. They strictly
and they put it in as law. Bush did, and when he did that stuff and did a runaround on the Constitution, and you look down there, it's like Federalist Paper number whatever, and it refers down and again another section, boom, 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 Federalist Paper number whatever, and that's all they used. They didn't use no case law. There was very case law back then, period, on terrorism.
Can I bring up something real quick?
Terrorism is the biggest.
There's two things I wanted to bring up real quick. You're right about the history, and if you look what Biden's doing right now, it's almost step by step what China did to their citizens 20 years ago. I mean, almost down the line, step by step. Two, I've been watching that Minnesota court case where that kid shot some of them rioters.
Yeah.
They're trying to make a precedence in that court case. Yep. That court case is the prosecutors all but basically gave up on that. Hold on. They all but gave up on that. Okay. You can hear it by the way the questioning goes and so on and so forth. But the precedent they're trying to set, though, is by stating that you have no right to protect your property any way you see fit, which the Second Amendment gives you the right to do that.
Clearly.
So now they're trying to make it a court case. They're trying to make it, all they're doing out of that whole case is trying to set the precedence in court that you don't have the right to do that, which is one more step to trying to take our Second Amendment away.
Right.
Just saying. Y'all need to watch. That's reading between the lines there.
Right.
And you go back and you watch that, you will see that prosecutor has stated that like 7 or 8 times now. Okay. He's given up on the fact that he's probably going to get a prosecution on the kid. You can tell. Okay. But he keeps pressing the fact that you don't have the right to protect your property with your Second Amendment right, which will be
that
taken
started
your
back
Second
in
Amendment
Reagan times.
Yeah.
That started way back. I mean, look at all the people that have broken into places, got shot, and they went to jail or they went to prison.
You know, they reward the bad and
thank you, Banana.
Good.
You guys got any thoughts on this guy's question that was pinned down here? So I'll give you my quick thoughts. So the question, let me read it for you guys. Some people say that the veterans should not be cops on regular patrol, but be on SWAT or other special units based on their training and aggressive mentality. Your thoughts?
I don't think that I think that military-minded are number one on the list, but I think they ought to be the last ones considered for employment because of things like PTSD and stuff like that.
I think there should be there should be some type of vetting process when it pertains to mental health issues and physical health issues when being employed. That's a given. I would say that we all could agree on that. But this pertains particularly to the training and the mentality of oneself when it comes to being into SWAT or special unit trainings. The only thing I could say against that is that I don't have that. There's no issue with that, but as long as that aggression and that training pertains to the scope of the job and not as long as it stays within the scope of the job and doesn't go outside the range fans as it pertains to assaulting and hurting civilians unlawfully and doing things like beating them and kicking them in the face and out of control type behavior, where it goes back to what Upstate was saying, due to PTSD or any type of mental health issue, which obviously would result back to the hiring process. So
love you too, beautiful wings.
But a lot of veterans are looked at first. A lot of veterans are looked at because of their military service and the conditioning they have when they get out of the military, not only to obey orders, but also the camaraderie and the brotherhood that the military offers that is almost parallel, if not parallel, to the law enforcement.
Right. Now, the other thing.
Hey, just 1 second, guys. Hold on, Timmy. Okay, for you guys that don't know, Beautiful Wings is Mrs. Upstate. She's at work right now, and she's on break. So she was saying hi and to everybody, and she was telling me that she loves me. So I wanted to say, I love you too, baby, and I'll see you when you get home.
Hello, Miss Upstate.
Hello, Miss Upstate.
But I think personally, when it comes to vets, okay, if they can pass an evaluation, a mental evaluation, to where they know that the PTSD is not going to possibly affect and things like that, they should be able to have any job, including a police officer's job, that is befitting to them. If they can do the job, let them do the damn job.
Right.
Not just a mental evaluation, but
why would we
stress
discriminate
test as
against them?
Yeah.
What they should do is get rid of the qualified immunity. That would slow them down.
I think the qualified immunity has a lot to do with it. Yes.
Remember what I said about separation, division. We are better than them. They are better than us. We are better than them. They're better than us.
But even then, though, Upstate, some would argue that the mere thought of a brotherhood is what separates them and gets them to do the acts that they do.
Right. Now, here's the other thing, people. You have to look at the other side. Not every veteran is a combat veteran. There's many people who are in the Navy, in the Air Force, never set foot in combat, never fired a rifle in anger.
I have a friend that was in the Navy. I have a friend that was in the Navy who never stepped foot on a ship and never left Louisiana.
There you go.
Damn.
Okay. Yeah.
So
he worked as an airman. He worked as an air corpsman in the Navy, and that's all he did his whole career.
So just because they're a veteran doesn't mean they're a combat veteran or they've had PTSD instilled in them. Okay.
Well, we could all say that just because they're veterans doesn't mean they're a good person as well, though. Too.
Exactly.
You're correct on that.
Exactly.
You're correct on that.
Yeah, but when you give somebody,
they need to take pride when a cop becomes when a person that was in the military becomes a cop. They need to think, hey man, I've taken 2 oaths now. That's double. I have to look out for my fellow citizens. They don't have the same rights that we do. Cops are told what to wear, how to wear it, when to come to work, when to not go to work, when you're on duty, when you're off duty.
Hold on here. My job right now requires me to wear a uniform. So, and it ain't a cop. I work at a gas station and they require me to wear a uniform. That don't mean nothing.
Right. I think it boils down to the integrity of oneself in order to do the job properly.
Correct.
Right.
Area of the conversation. Now, my dad was one, and there's this organization of a fraternity that's in all walks of
Hey,
life,
Keebler.
including being a cop as well as a judge or basketball, movie star, whatever. There's all walks of life. Ernest Borgnine was one. Masonic Mason or Scottish Rite Mason or York Rite Mason, whatever. And the fraternity, what to my understanding, is it makes men better for their family, the community, and themselves. So, and everything about a Mason, a Masonic Mason, or Shriner, or York Rite, just different organizations within the organization. They everything's in the Holy Bible. So about them, you just got to know where to look. From what I was told, but that even with that foundation, if they had that foundation with them, and they make themselves for a better man for their wife, their family, and their community, and whatever, and the job, then you're not going to have no bad cops because that goes against the grain of what they take another oath to. Supposedly, that's to my understanding. So that's another added to this conversation that a lot of people probably don't know. My dad was one. Women can't be a Mason except for Eastern Star, but which I do belong myself. But because my dad was a Mason, so I'm a member of the Eastern Star myself. So I'm part of the Masonic family, but in that sense. But for being a Mason, I can't tell you what happens in their lodge or what goes on in their lodge. But
You
but,
won't know until you're risen.
But well, you can't be because I'm a woman. A woman cannot join to be a Mason.
Hello, guys.
It's a male fraternity.
Hey D,
Hey, D.
I gotta go
Hi.
to the latrine. I'll be right back.
What's going on, D. John?
All right.
Hey, D. John.
Hi, guys.
Hey, you
Hi.
brought
Hey,
up
John.
you brought up Ernest Borgnine. When I was in the reserves before I went active duty, Ernest Borgnine used to come to Milwaukee and do the Great Circus Parade.
Right.
And it led off the festivals in Milwaukee. Every weekend was a different festival. And I have a picture of him because I was a member of the Milwaukee Metro NCO Council. We would lead the parade with a banner, Great Circus Parade,
Right.
and then we would have the Milwaukee Metro NCO Council banner and a foreign member.
Joe Cool. Give me the middle finger, brother.
Yeah,
There you go.
We always had an
I gotta-
honor guard that marched right behind the banner, and he was a very big supporter of veterans.
Right.
And,
He is because he was a 33 Scottish Rite Mason. That's high as you could go. It's like an honorary degree. The highest you can go really is technically for any Mason, period, to my understanding, is 32nd. 33 is an honorary degree. And, he was a Scottish Rite Mason.
Well, I'll tell
I
you
got a
what
question for you guys, for the veterans.
All right, I'm
yeah,
back.
go
I don't
Steve.
answer questions.
D,
No,
D,
they just
D, you can smack him in the head anytime.
okay. All right, I will. No, I
Go ahead.
know a lot. I know a lot of veterans that my brother-in-law included he's a veteran and he gets all of his veteran stuff that they're supposed to get. He goes to the PX, he gets all his medical. What do you guys think is the problem with some of these veterans not getting their information or getting, what do you think the breakdown is? Because there has to be a breakdown somewhere.
Well, part
Because
of it
some
could be-
veterans get it and some don't. I don't understand the breakdown.
let's say they have some kind
People
of
unqualified doing a job that they should be a janitor instead of a
I can tell you.
42 hours.
Well, it's not only that. Okay, for instance, a guy's been in service and he has some issues. The first thing a lot of wives do is because they can't. The guy's got issues. They can't. He's maybe threatening the family or the kids because of he's got issues. They get divorced.
Uh-huh.
Well, the wife takes all the papers, and if there's not a amicable separation, she throws them all away.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
That's okay.
Beware the woman scorned. You know she's not going to save those papers. She's going to throw. If it's not amicable, she's throwing all that garbage in the garbage.
Yeah, I don't have my first DD 214s.
Wait. D, what was
So
the
do you
question?
think it's like why do some of the military guys get their benefits? My brother-in-law gets all of his benefits, and he's a proud veteran. But there are so many veterans that they don't get their benefits, and that's what I was wondering. Because there's so many of them that are homeless, and the community I live in is primarily they rent to veterans. I've got them all branches of the military live in the complex that I live in, and
I'll
some
tell
of
you
them
why.
get benefits and some of them don't, and
Well,
it's confusing.
Go
They got
ahead,
quali-
Wright. Go ahead, Wright. I want to touch on that too.
Because they got qualified immunity, they can do whatever they want to do. And if you complain, you're just slugging underneath the damn rug. I don't know how many times I went to Robert Wilkie wrote, and I didn't get no action for what they did to
Yeah.
me. And I had to find out what was going on. Why was the doctors treat me the way they did? And I happened to find this qualified immunity that they have, and it's on my blog. And the Rights for Vets, you'll see it. They can do whatever
I've
they
seen
want
it.
to do. Did you?
My
Did you see it?
first-
Yeah.
My
Yeah,
first
I subbed to
DA
you.
was a what do you call it? A regional office, and
Oh,
they put me on the Gulf War registry and everything else like that. Dude, that didn't help me out at all. I just got I had hospital benefits, but I didn't get my rating until like I don't how long ago? About a year and a half now.
Mhm.
All right. So the misconception is that a soldier that gets out of the military automatically can go to the VA and start receiving benefits. That's the misconception right there. A lot of times when you get out of the military service and you go to the regional office and you file a claim, that could take anywhere up to 6 months to 2 to 3 years of you seeing a doctor, whether that's a physical doctor or a mental health doctor or whatever that is, to show a repeated pattern of your disability in order to receive benefits. That's not something that happens overnight. For me, myself, it took me a period of 6 years in order to get my 100% permanent and total status because of the things that I endured during my 3 tours. So it's not something that happens overnight. It could take up to years upon years, but I saw so many mental health doctors, so many physical doctors, and it takes time. This isn't something that you could just jump into and you get it a year or 2 years later.
And it's wrong.
Okay.
It's wrong.
What's up, Joe? Cool?
How you guys doing? The first one's just for the vets. The second one, Tammy, I won't chat. But I didn't hear about the cops. I think when I was walking out, I heard you guys say something. I put in chat, cops shouldn't be, vets shouldn't be cops. So I didn't hear that conversation. I heard you guys talking about it. That was my opinion, or at least it was what I wanted to put in chat to stare you cats. What do you think? Should vets be cops? And should we discuss the obvious first? You go get a soldier who's been trained to kill and follow orders and do what his guy says do, and you make him a cop. So the obvious is out there. And the obvious also is they have training with weapons. So they may make a good cop. What's you guys' opinion?
I think that any veteran or any soldier can become a law enforcement officer so long as that veteran operates within the bounds of the law and doesn't allow it's going to be purely based off integrity for each person. One cop may be a good cop because he has the integrity and is in it for the right reasons, and one may not be.
FMV, are there inherent dangers that come with making a veteran a cop?
Yes, I think that the risk of having, especially a veteran that's been in combat service.
Yes, that's
I think the risk is very much more so that if a situation were to arise where a civilian would get aggressive with them in nature, and that may trigger something such as an incident that happened in his. So yes, I think there's an apparent higher risk of a combat veteran. Not necessarily every veteran, because not every veteran goes to combat, but
what about
I would say more so with combat veterans for sure. I think there's
that's
more.
what I meant to combat veterans, and I'm not necessarily feel that way or not. Not you, Tammy. I'm sorry. I want to hear from the other vets first. What do you guys think? Should vets be cops? Anybody want to throw in before Tammy speaks?
Yeah, if they can fit the job, if they can do the job
Well,
correctly.
I'll leave because I ain't gonna let Joe dictate.
No, hold
what
on, Tammy. I got a question for you. Hold on, don't leave. I got a question for you. Well,
Ah,
fuck it, beat it, ride, nigga. Get your gay ass out of here. What? Oh, okay, go ahead. You think vets should be cops?
Yeah, I do. As long as they do the job properly, if they can pass the evaluations, the physical, and all that good stuff. Yeah.
All right. What about rest of you cats? KY, Upstate. Either one of you cats got an opinion?
I don't think a war vet should be at all. And
wow,
I don't because me personally, I'm fucked up. I do not need anybody putting me in a place where I have to. Damn it! I was bringing Tammy up, but oh well. Now somebody that qualified, yeah, but I think that he should be last in consideration for employment as a police officer.
That was dope. All right. The other question had to do with Tammy, since he's not up here. You know, that was actually another question. Yeah, you guys, so much shit you guys said down there, and I see why I don't have a wrench in this room, because I will not fucking go with the flow. I'm only interested. Tammy, is that you? Because I want you to kick in. No, that's not Tammy. I can't see anything. And the pictures, but oh, that's Glenn. All right. You guys said a lot, and I like to stir controversy. Not no bad shit, but I like to make niggas think. So I understand why I'm the only non-blue motherfucker in your chat. And
this is something that we've thought about forever, since we've been out of the military.
I'm gonna go with some controversy shit though. I'm gonna make you guys have to, I don't know, Barrett come up with something. I noticed, firstly, I'll handle one thing at a time. You guys said the so-called riot when they went into the Capitol. That was a so-called riot. What do you call it? Anybody? Was it a riot? Was it not? What was it? Any of you guys?
What, the January 6th?
Yeah, the Capitol.
That was pre-staged. Right? That was pre-staged.
Yeah.
I personally have seen videos that were not released online, and know of a few people that were actually there that the FBI visited along with myself. Yeah. And there's at least 3 videos that I know of for a fact to where it shows law enforcement letting everybody in.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
And I've personally seen those because the guy that I communicated with was actually we had operated together in the past. That's all I'm going to say about that.
All right, let's take away the thousands of people that marched in the street to the building, and even the hundreds that got in. They didn't have nothing to do with the staging, right? I mean, they may have been victims of the leadership, but those people walked over there after Trump was like, come on, let's go down to the Capitol. I'm leading you. I'm right with you. Those people were hot and hyped. And when the pre-stagers busted the windows, everybody flowed in. What was that?
Yeah, I would think that maybe once you got to think too, though, Joe. People are
followers.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. A lot of people are sheep. They follow the ones that believe are the leaders of the pack, and I think that's just by human nature.
Very good. That was a great response. Great response. Let me ask you guys: is it what do you call it? If they go there They marched there. They busted windows. We're going to take out Antifa, pre-so-and-so, white power. We're going to get rid of all that bullshit. And these people go storm that building, bust some windows, kick in the doors and all of that shit. What do you call that then?
By definition?
Yeah.
Yeah, by definition, it would be considered a riot, I believe.
Or worse, you could call it an insurrection. Some people might, I don't know. You can't call it a coup.
How many different organizations were actually there?
Oh my goodness. I'm sure
There was a
lot.
shitload.
I saw the something to do with vagina surgery or something. People were there. I mean, there's a lot of crazy. All factions was there.
No, I wouldn't.
There were some obvious people missing. Go ahead.
Well, I wouldn't call that a riot.
I mean, by definition.
Hold on. I didn't hear Upstate finish. What'd you say, Upstate? You want to call it what?
I wouldn't call it a riot.
What would you call it if they went in there and all of that shit? What do you call it?
Beaver Patrol, whatever the fuck, and these good old boys and shit like that. Dude, that's not that's a bunch of mixed up organizations trying to be spotted. That's not a riot.
Trying to get some fame and shit. Now who else was talking? What was y'all?
No, I was just going to say that, I mean, if we go by the pure definition of insurrection, I mean, we could basically call any kind of uprising against any authority or government an uprising.
All right, now I'm interested in your definition. Now I'm interested in your definition. Now I'm interested in your definition of all these available terms. Which would you select?
So I would say it went at the point to where there was the damaging of property. I would consider it as a riot.
Very
because
good.
You have to think that at that point in time, and even then I mean, if we're going purely off definition, we would have to say that not only was it a push against authority, but would have to be considered a revolt as well.
Look at you! You hitting every question. That was the whole reason I asked the question, just to see these things.
Well, I think a lot differently than a lot of people too, Joe.
You do, right? Well, somebody else besides fucking FMB. And he done gave away all the fucking answers and shit. But
I got one for you. I got one for you, Joe Cool.
Go ahead.
I got a question.
Yeah.
How do you think our government's running today? You think that they're fair to the people?
No. It's running like a Swiss timepiece. It's running the way it's been designed to do. And it's fucking in high gear. It's a Ferrari on the Autobahn right now.
That can mean so many things, Joe.
I'm gonna continue on. I'm gonna continue. It's running like a well-oiled Ferrari on an Autobahn right now, a brand new one, right? And it's picking up speed. Our government is designed, and its purpose now is to use the poorer people as cattle. Or slaves or whatever. And, we are the new commodity. The people in general are the commodity. We are there to find ways to make money off of. And they're good at that. And they have a police force set to keep us down. They have this machine called the media to keep us blind and fighting each other. And then you have, 4 motherfuckers that have 50% of the world's wealth. You have 1% having 95% of the world's wealth. That type of shit. I think in those terms, it runs well.
Can I ask you a question, Joe?
Very good.
With that being said, Joe, with what everything that you said, would you, by definition, then would you consider the government at this point a dictatorship?
I would. I would. It's been a dictatorship. I was just reading in the crib before I came out here about all the forefathers that dreaded a two-party system. The worst thing I can imagine is a two-party system. Our downfall will be a two-party system. It's in man's inherent nature to join factions and join mobs. If that leads to a two-party system, we're doomed. They were scared to death of what we have had lock solid for so long. And you see why. Mob rules, tyrannical 51%. Who's ever in charge can make up laws and rules for other people. And then in your 4 to 8 years, you try to battle those and it's all lose.
Right. So with agreeing that this is being ran as a dictatorship, do you not think that us as citizens of the United States have the duty to rebel and redress the government? Whether that be called a riot, an insurrection, or whatever.
Yes, I'm loving you, which is that's exactly where the fuck I was gonna go with all of this questioning bullshit. Is it does the title even matter? Was it what must be done? My thoughts on that is if I just look at that crowd, it's too many white people, not enough Hispanics and Asians and shit. Yes, some fucking racist prick. I'm sorry to even bring the first one nigga say that word, but some stuck in their fucking cognitive dissonance as racist fuck is gonna point out that was a black guy. Look over there. There's a black guy. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when the people are unified, all the people should be out there. If I see
All
that,
the people.
if I see that, just looking at the crowd, I don't even need to know the cause. I'm kicking in windows. I'm with y'all. And under the right circumstances, that may be a beautiful thing. That could be like the start of the country, man. That could be the revolt, the
Exactly.
revolution. Yeah.
No, I could agree with that.
Hey,
Joe.
I got a question for y'all. And so it happened on this very same subject. And it ain't the question I'm going to ask. I want y'all to really think about the question I'm going to ask. What the leadership really means to y'all?
What does leadership mean to y'all? Why don't you guys go first?
Well, I don't think that this is any form of leadership at all. I think that we go back to the point that the government is a dictatorship at this point, and I think that one of the points that was just driven by the conversation is that it's our duty to show some type of organized opposition to any authority or even mutiny or rebellion to any type of dictatorship of us as Americans. I wouldn't call this leadership at the least. I would call this control by fear at its minimal.
That's right.
As proof of your argument, the nearest representative that we see every day of that government are the police. So the burden is heavy upon them. They represent the government. When they pull behind you, even before the lights start flashing, how do you feel? You feel like that's the leader behind you? Oh, I'm safer now. A cop is behind you? Or do you feel like, oh, I'm gonna get raped and robbed? This nigga gonna find some way to get some money out of me. He gonna come up. What do you feel? Nowadays, I feel like, please light me up. I need a video. Just don't go nowhere. Stay with me. And nowadays, I feel like that. I'm following you.
We could argue the fact that, I mean, we all know that, and it's been ruled in the Supreme Court that the police have no authority or no responsibility to your safety. Well, if that's the cause, then why are we being pulled over for tickets and all this stuff for speeding for the mere protection and safety of people on the road? It's already been ruled that they're not responsible for our safety. So then if they're pulling us over for the guise of safety, and that's already been ruled upon, then the purpose of them pulling over people for speeding tickets and nonviolent crimes or non-victim or victimless crimes is for the pure what's the word I'm looking for? It's basically for extortion. It's to gain revenue off the people in the community.
That's right.
I want to say something on this.
Taxation in itself is theft.
I want to say something on what he just said.
Go ahead.
People don't understand. If you look at every city that you're in, you need to go to Municode or whatever .com and look up your city's charter. It was and county and state. It would say that they are incorporated. In other words, if they're incorporated, that means they're a business.
On the side of the doors on most police cars, incorporated in 1972 or whatever fucking year. They are all incorporated.
Well, not on ones here, but on
not on the ones here either. But I have seen them.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, they are incorporated. In other words, they're a business. They're a city, or the city you live in, the county you live in, the state you live in. All they are is a business trying another way of taxation, pulling you over. It is a privilege to drive on the roads, because you got to have a permit, you got to have a license, you got to have a gun license or concealed or whatever. All that's to generate money to fill their coffers up, and they do have.
But we have the right to travel.
Listen, I think he was being sarcastic with that shit.
Yeah, he was being sarcastic with it. He knows exactly what he's on point with what he was speaking with, and I agree with you, Michelle.
Yeah.
Hey,
Okay.
Hebrew Hammer, give me the middle finger.
Fuck, that's you, Michelle.
Uh,
I'm not through. I'm not done yet.
Wait.
I'm not.
All right.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. I want to hear the rest of it.
And people say I'm an ex-elected official myself. I was a city council member, and I know exactly these people in this town now. The people that sits on this board now, a lot of them are my friends. Now they're my enemies because of the crooked crap that they pull, and they belittle people and citizens sitting down in the audience. And here in where I live at, they made a rule of conduct. If you're not up there, you see, when I was a council member, if you can't sit up there for 5 minutes to listen to good or the bad, or someone cussing you out or bitching at you for whatever reason, and you can't sit up there for 5 damn minutes, you have no right sitting in that damn seat. But now these suckers come up with what they call a rule of conduct. That means if you're not up there kissing their butt, you can't say nothing bad against them. They can have, and where I live at, they can have you ejected from the meeting and or arrested. But most cities have only just kicked out of the meeting. They don't have.
Yeah, they have ways to do it. I heard yesterday that the way they were doing that is they would tell everybody only one person can come in and talk at a time. You still get to talk, but you don't get your people in there, and they don't get to hear what you got to say. One person can come in at a time. He talk, leave outside.
Hey, Stephen Mutual, what's up?
Here in my city, they also made a rule that only the citizens can come up to speak before people that don't live in the city. They get to be heard first. If there's enough time, they'll listen to them. But if but it was 5 minutes, now it's down to 2 minutes. So you got
what you gonna say in 2 fucking minutes?
Right. That's what I'm saying. By the time you give your name and address and where you live at.
Yes. What brings you here today? You're a minute in.
All right. You're screwed. And if anyone belittles you from the bench, a council member or the mayor, cause you belittle a citizen, that citizen can't come back up and say, well, I can't come back up without getting kicked out of the meeting. So one time, and this is what I did, a councilwoman that ran with me when I came in office, she said there'll never be an ethics board in this city, and there's one in here now. And they put all their little butt buddies up there, so they can bring charges on other people on the board. But if they're friends, if they're not friends with them, then they can bring ethics charges against the ones that's not going along with what they say or do, or have minds of their own, and try to get them out of office. Well, this lady belittled me and a councilman, and I was sitting down there because I caught the mayor in a lie on dealing with money, and she acted like she had a heart attack. So she was the mayor pro tem. She took her spot to take over the meeting, and then she belittled me. So I waited till after the meeting was over with, and I called her, "You damn skank, you damn fucking sleazy ass hoe. What you got damn right up in that damn weave?" I mean, I went off on her ass. I said, "You stand fast, Mr. Police Officer. The meeting is over with. There's nothing you can do about it."
You stand fast. Made me think of something else. If I can hop in, if you're done.
Go ahead. I just want to let you know.
I got
our freedoms are definitely being taken away. Our freedom of speech.
Say again.
So our freedom of speech is definitely being taken away. There's no doubt about it.
It is, in which the word itself, freedom of speech, implies. It's kind of like speed limit. It implies that you can go lower. Freedom of speech implies that it's to protect the crazy shit. It doesn't mean free to talk. Hey, how you doing? That doesn't need protecting. The fact that you need freedom of speech that has to be written down and made laws about, mean it protects the fuck you bitches shit that you were just talking about.
Well, let me say something. Yeah. Not all freedom of speech are how should I say, protected speech under the Constitution.
Well, the freedom of speech alone was for the redress of government, and it sounds to me like through the council meetings with you is that not only have they found a way to shorten your redress of grievance by 2 minutes, which is absurd, but they're also utilizing law enforcement and anybody else to how dare you speak against the agenda, because if not, we'll slap cuffs on you.
Yes, at least. Let me take you out here. since we're in the political shit, I'm going to take it to a political hypothetical. Michelle, if this is my friend Michelle, I think it is. What pronoun do you prefer, Michelle?
Female. I'm a female.
All right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I don't want to be up here. I noticed I called you he like 6 times. Then I had to zoom in on your name on my cell phone.
I ignored you.
Correct me. I don't want to give you shit. I don't want to ruin your day.
Okay. Phone is ignoring you, but if you was in presence, I'll put my hand up right to your face. Say, hold on there, buddy.
Thank you. Well, if I'm in presence, I'd have fucking known. Or if I hadn't seen you in a while, I used to know. I just ain't seen you. I had no fucking idea it was even you. But okay, Michelle, this is for everybody, is running for office, right? We've done well. She's got that council seat where she's getting shit from those people. She moves up and so we're running her for state senate. Inherent. Doesn't that mean that our friend becomes evil? Our friend becomes useless. In order for you to get, I'm gonna give you a few reasons why, and then you respond. In order for you to get that job, you have to, you can't afford it. So you have to raise money. The borrower is servant to the lender. That money comes with strings. In order for you to get that seat, fuck it, you got that seat, and we want to take you to a higher office. In order for you to do these things, you have to agree with every other Democrat if you're a Democrat or Republican. The votes are too tight. Michelle, you cannot go on your own and say this, say that. We'll lose the entire shit. The only way you get elevated is if you make deals with motherfuckers, right?
Nope, I didn't.
Well, you're not a fucking state senator. I'm talking about high offices, not that county local shit.
My campaign. Let me tell you how I did my campaign.
I'm not interested in how you did your campaign unless you were a senator or a congressman. You got the office that at the where you're talking about. We gave you that. We gave you the fucking state senate. But if you go high enough, don't you have to become the enemy?
Not necessarily.
Anybody else?
You have to toe the party line. That's all.
That's what I'm saying. Don't you have to toe the party line, and you no longer can speak your mind. That's where I was going with this.
I'll speak my mind regardless. I do. That's how come I done. I mean, if I thought for my constituents, I was for the people. If I made a law, it affects me as well as my constituents because I'm still a citizen of the state or county or city or whatever political position I have. I'm still a citizen. I live in the same community they live in. So their concerns are my concerns.
That's the way it should be. One of you guys who just hopped up here want to speak because you haven't had a chance.
What's up, Vincent? What's up, Hebrew?
Because my campaign sign was give him hell, Michelle, and I gave him hell every damn time I made a decision. I didn't go with the status quo with the other council members, and I voted a lot of against them. And if I thought that some of what they were saying will help and benefit the city
Michelle,
I would have.
No disrespect, but that works on a local level. You're preaching to the fucking choir. Everybody knows you can become an alderman and still do this, that, and the opposite. But my hypothetical was when you raise. Can you still be giving hell, Michelle, or do you have to, in order to get your bill passed for your people, you have to agree to 27 things from 27 other senators that they want and your people don't want? That's the name of the game.
People don't want it. I won't vote for them.
All right, go ahead, Hebrew. You haven't spoken.
Roger that. I was former OCATS canine operator in Israeli Defense Force for 3 years.
Okay.
I did 2 years Secret Service. I also was a county commissioner for 2 years in North Florida.
Okay.
The only last hope that we have for any form of fashion of government is going to be at the local level. We can kiss the state and federal government goodbye.
All right.
It's never coming back.
Check him out.
So the only difference that you're going to make if you plan on endeavoring into politics, the only place you're going to make a difference is at your local level.
Right.
Which may be a county commissioner, a city councilman. An alderman is subject to contract. So I do not.
Yes, that's when you start getting in danger. When you become an alderman, you are in danger. Yeah.
Well, if you're an alderman, basically you're a unionist.
Yes.
And you have to abide by a contract.
Yes.
When
Right.
you
And you,
become a
yes.
when you become a county commissioner or you become a city official, what you're basically your contract is with the Constitution.
Right.
Okay, and that's why I chose to become a county commissioner.
Right.
I think what people have forgotten when you look at a 35,000-foot view of things, what's going on, for most of us who have traveled outside of the country, we can look at America in a different angle, through a different lens. Okay, what we're witnessing in the United States is like what happened in Yugoslavia in 1992. We
Yep.
are being balkanized. The same money, the same banks, and the same issuance coming out of the Davos Group. What we witnessed on January 6th in DC, it was called a color revolution. This
All
one
right. I
happened to
haven't
be
heard that term. I haven't
this
heard
one.
color revolution. Please explain that term.
Okay, so when you have a foreign financed revolution, okay, in Ukraine 7 years ago, it was called the Orange Revolution.
All right.
Did
Color
anybody
revolution. I got it.
did anybody notice when Trump got elected and Hillary and all her cohorts got on stage, they were all wearing purple? Did
I did
anybody
not
notice that?
notice, but I literally read transcripts of the conversations they had when they first got in bed with the Ukraine's Democrats and
Right.
Republicans. They were doing the
Okay.
same shit. Joe Biden is guilty of the same shit Trump did. His son is guilty of the same shit Trump's kid did.
Yep.
They talked to the same guy. They said the same things.
It's actually worse on the Democratic Party when you look at the math applied. Okay, not the person, but the position and the math applied. Okay, so I got counterterrorism under my belt. And what went on when we saw Hillary get on stage is we see what's the announcement of a color revolution. This one they call it the purple revolution.
Yeah.
Right.
So
in
you just
January-
meant, I didn't mean to disrupt you. You just meant there was outside people paying for this.
Yes.
shit. All right.
Yes,
keep
the
going.
same issuance of how the Bolshevik concept entered into Russia. Communism was a foreign.
Uh-oh. Did he do that at me? Hebrew, I think. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Hebrew.
Hebrew,
Hebrew, you there?
you roboted out Hebrew. Anyone else?
Well,
Vincent or D. Johns.
I want to add
Hold
something.
on, Michelle, please hold on. Vincent or D. Johns, they haven't spoken.
Okay.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, first of all, I've gotten a lot of
I
insight.
think what people need to do is people need to pay attention.
Speaking.
In January,
Hold on, we got two talking.
Hebrew, you went out there for a second.
Yeah, we couldn't hear you for the longest, Hebrew. Now we know you're there because your
Sorry
dog's
about
barking.
that. Yeah, probably his tracking collar.
Hold on, Hebrew. I think that was Vincent talking. Was that you talking, Vincent?
Yeah, I was going to let him finish what he was saying.
All right, go ahead then, Hebrew.
Go ahead and finish.
Remember, you roboted. We probably missed a ton of it.
Hammer, go ahead and finish, man.
You probably roboted again.
He said something
It's
about
the Davos Group.
Go ahead.
Has anybody ever heard of the Davos Group in Switzerland?
Oh, that sounds racist. No,
Yes,
I don't know what it said. They go or they both.
What's her name? There's a woman who lost a kid supposedly in that thing that happened December 2012. Remember? I don't want to say the name, but it was an event in Connecticut. She was on that committee. She supposedly lost a kid.
Right. Okay, so anything that is issuance in the geopolitical realm, all of the policies are written in Davos, Switzerland. Okay, so basically any government that wants to do anything and enter into the world commerce market has to deal and hash it out at the Davos Group in Switzerland. Okay, you've had two world wars in Europe, but nobody invaded Switzerland. Why is that? Because you don't rob your own bank.
Howdy, Duncan.
Right. It's basically a global platform.
Exactly. Now,
I got you.
Now, I don't look at the person, I look at the position, such as the President of the United States.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I can care less who it is, and I can care less what color they are or what language they speak. As long as they have our best interest in mind, they have my vote.
What's the odds of that?
Okay, we just witnessed it in 2020.
Never
I'm
happened
sorry.
since I've been
I'm
alive.
sorry. 2016. I apologize.
Never happened since I've been alive. I'm guessing you're talking about Trump, though. Was in our best interest.
Ron Paul. in
Joe,
2000.
I wish you and I one day can sit down and I could put this math in front of you.
Okay, well, without the math, is that what you're saying? Trump was in our best interest?
Exactly. And I'll explain to you why. Okay.
All right.
When Trump gets into office, on the International Monetary Fund, the
Yeah.
US dollar was rated at 9.5 cents.
Yeah.
Okay. When Trump went to Davos, immediately that same day, the US dollar went to a rating of 65 cents. The last time that has happened, Andrew Jackson was on his deathbed.
Yeah.
We have never seen this before.
So you're
in our
just speaking
lifetime.
financially speaking, because I'm black and
Exactly.
Trump was not the best thing for minorities. He's not in our interest. He's in your interest.
But that's what the color revolution would have you think. And
Well,
I've had this discussion. Hold
yeah.
on now.
Yeah.
I've had this discussion with the Lubavitch Rebbe Council of Israel.
And your point?
Okay. And my point is that we have been fooled.
Oh, fuck Israel and their opinion. Mine's solid. I don't give a fuck telling me that Israel says we've been fooled, so we must have been fooled because you talked to some councilman in Israel. My opinion means shit. Is that your point?
No, I'm
All
not
right.
saying that your opinion means shit. Well, what I'm saying is we must make a calculated decision. We have to base our decisions on math.
So isn't this the same decision I got to make every fucking 4 years? Do I get beat with a baseball bat or do I get stabbed? All right. I got people over there calculating the odds. Well, Joe, here, if you get stabbed, you only bleed here. But if you get hit with a bat, you might break a bone. I got to choose between two evils, which is in my best interest. Trump is not in our interest, bro. Trump's in Trump's interest. Trump had great ideas like every president.
But regardless of who the person is, the numbers, the math implies otherwise.
Shot and stabbed. It's better to be shot. You telling me the math says it's better to be stabbed? I don't want either.
No, the
It
math
is.
The math implies should we be solvent or insolvent?
Well, if I may chime in, I do agree with the financial stability statement. That is actually very accurate, but that's a cold fact in that there has been more reduction and destruction of our civil rights since. And it's not just him, it's the guy before him who was a different
And the guy
flavor,
after him, yes.
paved the way for the next cat. And the
Yes,
things that have enabled Biden. I know this is going to make people get a little upset, but you got to read the research and look at see how they, on the public face, they show how they're divisive and different, and you shouldn't think good of this next guy.
Yes.
Behind closed doors, there are things that are set in place so the next cat can roll us.
Let me interrupt you. A great example of that shit is this degrading of our rights, our gun rights, and our rights with these fucking wearing these masks and lockdowns and shit. That was not and is not going to change no matter who you get president. President can make small shit and do financial shit. And I'd argue that Trump also added a full third to our deficit, which means he enslaved another fucking 18 generations of my kids. I'm not sure how we might do well because he did that, but now we owe another fucking $18 trillion that we can't afford as poor people. So he did shitty things as well. I'm sorry, I strayed a little bit.
No, but you.
I want to also really wanted to say I didn't get to that. I get a lot from everybody who's sharing here, and that really is great. What makes this a great stream. I'm a son of a veteran, and also my uncle was in the Marines. My dad was in the U.S. Army as a helicopter pilot, WC3, in '65 through '67. So I really have a very high regard, like in my fiber, for at least those that are really, like Lincoln said, put their life on the altar of freedom. There's a plaque.
Not only that, you can judge these men on what you saw here today. It's one of the coldest funnels I've seen.
When you go to the VA office in D.C. at McPherson Square, there's a plaque that quotes Lincoln, those that have laid their body on the altar of freedom, and to his orphan and his widow, and that struck me so hard. And there are so many men and women who walk by that plaque and they read those words, and then they go inside. You know what I'm saying? That is like encapsulates the betrayal of the use of the words of how our government makes us feel all warm and runny, and then like the reality is not that. So I just wanted to contribute that. And,
Just like the VA statement, they care about us vets and all this. The VA statement, they say we care about our vets and all this. They don't. The VA is another governmental agency funded by the taxpayers that wastes lots more money than probably Trump has ever done when he was president, or any president, because they waste money like crazy.
Well, I wanted to go back to what Hebrew was talking about, and my question to you, Hebrew. So, if I understood you right, and please correct me if I'm wrong, is that the decision of who's in charge of the country is based off monetary, and any policies and anything that's pushed by that administration is pure collateral to the people.
Exactly. You hit it.
That's
right
how
on
I
the
understood
head.
it.
You hit it right on the head. Okay, so let's say for issuance of bonds in order to secure your entry into the commodity market, whichever it may be, including human cargo. Okay.
Us as
Again,
am I
as
right?
us as citizens, yes, as citizens. Okay. So basically, in order to issue these bonds, you have to put up collateral. Okay. So, say for instance, under Trump, the dollar goes from 9 cents to 65% or 65 cents. Currently, we're down to 49 cents. Anytime we've gone under 50 cents, we've gone to world war. Why? Because we have no secured collateral. Okay. So basically, did anybody listen to Putin's speech at Valdai on October 22nd in Sochi? Did anybody listen to this?
Mm-mm.
No.
Okay, it's imperative that you listen to what's going on with these world leaders and their evaluation of the United States. Does anybody know where our rating is? We no longer have a AAA rating.
No, that was gone a long time ago. Way out the door.
So we're below the 50% mark, and as far as what's going on is the collateral or basically the preparation for this country to get ready to go back to war. But in this point, possibly a world war.
Yes, on a world stage, and the evidence of that is in Ukraine 7 years ago. Okay, the issue with Biden and his son and all that good stuff going on in Ukraine. Well, it really didn't have anything to do with a pipeline. It had to do with 7 nuclear footballs. Okay. So the losing of 7 nuclear footballs that the Soviet lost, they found 5. Israel witnessed that Russia destroyed 5 of them. There's 2 floating around. That's what the scramble of Ukraine was all about, was for NATO to secure those 2 nuclear footballs. Okay. Now, the collateral issuance. How does this come? How do we walk into World War III because we're already there? How did we walk into it? What happened was Trump goes to the Davos group, and you can't hear what the people are saying, but you could read their expressions when they come out of the meeting. Basically, what Trump went in there did is he kicked over the tables. He wasn't having that shit. He says, we're not going to go silently into this world war. People need to pay attention to what's going on here.
So if what you're saying is true, and if what you're saying is the preparation, so that means that the influx of immigrants or refugees to the border is basically an attack.
It's an invasion. It's an invasion.
Right, on the United States. That's how I see it.
Well, for the former military guys in here, y'all are familiar with MACOM radio systems, right?
Yeah.
Okay. If anybody is in possession of a MACOM, you need to get on there and get onto the 300 channel. You need to listen to what's going on at the border of Texas down here. It is unreal.
Well, the last I heard, there was another 120,000 pushing up.
Okay. So you notice they're coming to Texas, Arizona, New Mexico. They ain't coming through California.
Well, Texas has always been historically the tip of the spear for the United States when it pertains to sovereignty and liberty.
Okay. So now we wonder why, to go back, because I'm trying to touch on a bunch of subjects at once, just listening since 3 o'clock. If we have the discussion of why the police are acting the way they're acting, okay, under the Obama regime, 51 mayors of 51 cities petitioned the United Nations to come in and police their cities. But they couldn't do that if the police are there. So we see why the police are treating citizens the way they are. It's because it's part of a protocol. The police are being told to act like this. So that way there is a separation between the police and the civilians.
There's that separation again.
Yep.
Again.
Okay, well,
Okay.
what is the end result of that then? What's the
The end
conditioning
result-
behind that?
The end result is to be occupied and secure commodity. How much
Right.
money we owe the world? The Chinese, the Russians, the South Africans, the Viennish, or the Venetians, I'm sorry, out of Italy, the mobs, even the bad Jew guys. They all want a piece of our ass, and they're going to get it.
And the commodity is human life at this point.
The human
Which is
exchange.
We're cash
which-
cows. That's right. We're cash cows.
because we are, and that's part of the New World Order, because that was part of the New World Bank. The Federal Reserve is a banking cartel, and when Congress gave up their right to audit the Federal Reserve, where the money goes, and audit them, Bernanke went up on House of Representatives and then the Senate when I think it was Bush around 9/11, he said if you don't go for this, that what he was going for, sign off on this, the stock market will crash, chaos in the streets, on all your streets, and everything will be in total chaos. And they all signed off on it because they was missing like $20 trillion. And what happened was they bailed out the damn banks and overseas that needed handouts back then. When U.S. bailed out the car manufacturers and all that, that's when all that happened. All the quarters went off and everything inside the chambers of the House and the Senate, and no phones, nothing been reported, and that's when all that shit went down. They missed $20 trillion, went up missing all of a sudden. Nobody knew where it went. Their rights way back during, I think it was around Nixon, when Nixon was president, that Congress gave up that right to audit the Federal Reserve Bank.
When Nixon took us off of the gold standard and put us on a faith-based system.
Right.
Right. That was intentional. You know it was. Nixon also is the cat who
So basically, we haven't had a president until 2016, from the year 1968 to 2016. We haven't had a president.
Right.
Okay, so if everything you're saying has truth and facts so then at this point, as us as citizens of this country, then who is the enemy?
Ourselves.
And when the influx or when the invasion happens, I mean, who are we pointing our rifles at?
Ourselves.
No, be more specific. I guess by that we mean when the invasion begins, it will be us. It will be the National Guard. It will be us.
No,
So is that what you mean? We're pointing at ourselves?
It'll start off between the haves and have-nots.
Yeah,
because
I agree.
we won't know who the enemy is.
I disagree. I disagree as fuck.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. We're going to assume at that point that the person that has, because you do not have, is your enemy.
Right, but who's the one pulling the strings? Where's the true target is what I'm asking.
The Davos group.
Well, we can't reach the Davos group from here.
That's the point.
The same reason the French Revolution started is the haves wanted more and the have-nots didn't have enough. They were starving.
So this goes beyond civil revolution. Then I told everybody, and I kept warning people to wake the fuck up, that people were going to literally start fighting for their neighbors for food and water, and everybody thinks it's a joke. And if this is what's happening, and everything that's happening at the border here at Texas is true, I've kept up with that shit. And let me tell you something, man. You people need to start realizing what's going on, because this inflation and all this stuff isn't going to get any better. But at this point, there's nothing that we can do, and no amount of cameras that you could put on the government that's about to stop what's fixing to happen. So wake the fuck up.
Let me go back to Hebrew Hammer said, we do not recognize our enemy. Our enemy, we can't get over there to the Davos screw or what have you. Our enemy, depending on who you are, we're poor, will come first. Your enemy will be the guy who tells you you cannot work unless you have the jab. By the way, quickly, can you guys run through who's been vaxxed and who hasn't?
Negative.
You got
my old lady got vaccinated for her job.
What about you, Upstate? You vaxxed?
No.
All right, KY.
Hell no.
All right, so I'm guessing that's everybody. Right? You vaxxed?
Nope. Not
D
at all.
Johns?
No, sir.
My goodness, Michelle. You please.
Shouldn't even ask that one.
What? What
Are
did I
you
do
vaxxed?
now? What
Are
did I do now, KY?
Are you vaxxed, Michelle?
Yeah, the VA makes you vaccinated when you go do the VA.
So the answer is yes. Again, we were talking about the enemy, Michelle. The enemy will tell you you can't work, get a job, go to school unless you do what they tell you. Those people are the enemy. We already know what the enemy looks like. He's the one coming to my door telling me, listen, here's a piece of paper signed that says you can't live here because there's too many unvaxxed people here and you guys are dangerous. We got to relocate you. Those are the enemy.
I didn't say anything like that.
Not you, Michelle. You weren't even here. Everybody else knows what I'm talking about. We were talking about who's the enemy and can you recognize them. I was saying the enemy is highly recognizable. They are the ones who's making you do shit you don't want to do.
Blue helmet.
The VA doing my, my.
Can't hear me.
Doing my VA.
You can't hear Michelle at all?
Hello?
Hold on, Michelle. Vincent, can you?
Fine.
And I think Vincent said he can't hear her. Vincent, can you hear Michelle? Okay, all right, go ahead, Michelle.
The VA, when I went down there to get my my checkup, they said I couldn't even come in the building unless they gave me the shot, the grade to give the shot to even see the doctor.
What?
Yeah.
You couldn't wear a mask. That had nothing to do with.
No,
right.
Mask too until they gave me a shot, and I still had to wear the mask when I was still in there.
Wow.
Okay, first of all, they don't have the right to ask you whether you've been vaccinated or not. That's against HIPAA.
I know.
Well,
that's like I said, the VA is another government bureaucratic agency, just like any other government office that's under the government umbrella.
Well, let me get you guys a little bit, and this is just to wake you up a little bit more. We know that the government is capable of doing things beyond our imagination.
Oh yeah.
And don't put it past. And this is just a rumor, and maybe Hebrew can touch on this a little bit. But there was a rumor that they're trying to utilize OSHA in some form, shape, or fashion in order to mandate the vax for veterans. And if they don't get vaxxed, then they'll lose their benefits from the VA. So that means they will no longer receive their check or any money that they earned from the government if they refuse to get the vax.
Right.
And that's just that's a rumor that I heard.
No.
I don't know if there's any truth to that.
There is. They got legislation now where any government employee has to be vaxxed, and they're talking about anyone who receives any benefits from the government has to be vaxxed. And states are also already doing that shit, preparing you for the computer chip shit.
It's not only the vets. It's people just get Social Security, SSI, whatever, any kind of benefit, food stamp, whatever. If you get any kind of government assistance or any kind of government check, you're going to have to be vaxxed. And
let's not sugarcoat it. Biden tried to bring in a law in December. I think this is the one that the Supreme Court blocked, but it's going to happen where you cannot work unless you've been vaxxed.
So it's either obey or you lose everything that you've ever worked for, your livelihood, and then you, the one that the have-nots, become the enemy because you start destroying stuff and you're considered terrorists and all that shit because you're fighting for hunger.
It's like checkmate, right? They really got you, especially if you like me. I got to go to the store to get my meal, my gallon of milk. You know, I there's so many stores around here. We don't stock up. I don't live somewhere 20 miles from a store where we got about 80 cans
let
of
me go a
food.
little further than that. Let me go a little bit further than that. This part of the New Order bullshit, and all the presidents has done this. Every single president. Writing executive orders and stuff, where they can control your food, they control your fuel, any land, anything. They put it in there for the New World Order owns everything already. They put all this stuff in motion a long time ago.
Of course they did, right?
Yeah.
Long time ago.
Absolutely.
It's not just Obama, Trump, Bush
Yes.
1, Bush 2. It goes
Yes.
all the way back to Nixon.
All right. Well, yes, and Nixon did horrible shit. I don't want to get distracted.
And like I said, people don't know that the Henry Kissinger is the godfather of the New World Order. He's the one that started this shit.
Now, the only one
He's part of the Rockefeller family.
The only one that's exempt from the jab is Congress. They can take it or not.
Check that shit out. Check that out. The first sign of an occupying force is that they refuse to obey the same laws that they enforce.
Right.
And also, let me. Go ahead.
I'm on disability, so they're saying that I have to get the vaccine, but my personal doctor has told me not to get it.
They'll overrule your personal doctor. They're doing it everywhere already. Some guy they physically made get it, and he showed them that his personal doctor said no, and they forced him to get it.
So we know. So we know that we obviously know the avenue of approach, or somewhat of an avenue of approach. And I got a question for Hebrew. If you were to give a timeline on your best educated guess, when would you? What phase and what phase is? Because we know the government operates in phases. So what phase would we be in, and what kind of timeline are we looking at before they start to pull the trigger?
They've started. Be more specific. They've already started.
They already started. Phase 2. We're going into phase 3 now.
Right. Let me go ahead. I want to listen.
When I say that, why I say that is because when you go traveling from like Arizona to California, and there's probably 75 to 100 miles away from any border, and you have Homeland Security or DNS checkpoints out there and say, "Are you American citizen?" Not want to show your papers, and you're supposed to have freedom. This is not Nazi Germany. You're supposed to have freedom from state to state to travel any way you want to. They're going in rest stops asking people that. They're going on buses, Greyhound buses, asking people that question, and all kinds of stuff. It's getting unreal.
I'm not a religious dude. I've never been to church, but I do read my Bible, and for years I've been telling my kid a lot of different religions believe this. This isn't goes pinned down to one religion. That in the Bible where it says Revelation, they're going to cause everybody to have a mark in their hand, and without it, you can't buy or sell goods.
That's right.
Everybody, at least everybody I know, thinks that what it's going to be is the same chip in your credit card. They're putting it in your hands now. They're implanting it already, and it'll have your medical history and your financial shit.
Well, they started that. They started that back in Bush Jr. There's some articles done on that. They had a space contractor that came up with trying to get plant chips and brains of soldiers, so when they go over, they can have contact with satellites and communications to the ground forces and all that stuff. DARPA.
I don't know how successful that's been. Everything I've read, they are really shitty at it. Anything that's gone public, that any progress they made has been really comical. I ain't gonna bullshit.
Now the other thing is, because I got out in 2002, in 99 they started issuing the new ID cards with a chip in it that had your entire military career on it.
Right.
Well, I want to hear Hebrew's answer to my question, though.
Okay.
What
So
phase, Hebrew?
all right. So what we're looking at is we are already 2/3 the way of a civil war.
There you
Right.
go.
And Joe, we've discussed a little bit of this, a couple of weeks back, probably about 3 weeks back. And you asked me, what do we do at this point? Okay, so we're
Yeah.
2/3 into a civil war. The reason why we are 2/3 that way is because the color revolution of a foreign entity has already publicly announced it. It did it on TV right in front of us. And when Hillary did not succeed to the election, they come out on stage and everybody's wearing purple. Okay, so there's your first issuance. Your second issuance of the third is when you have governors of Texas and Florida implementing lawsuits suing the federal government over these OSHA standards, over these mandations. Okay, you can pull up my file. Joe Cool, you ask PDF, he'll send you the file. I, as a county commissioner on public file, was in the early stages of COVID when the discussion of mask mandates came up at a county level. And I simply implied to my constituents that, look, number one, it's not legal. Okay. You can't mandate a health measure unless that a medical martial law is declared, in it, which at that point it was not.
Right.
Okay. Okay. So I simply said, what is next? Stars of David's on our shoulders. That's what's next.
Yes.
And I said that on public file. Okay. So we are 2/3. The color revolution has been announced. The governors of different states have already formed what's called the.
Oh, you roboted out again.
Yeah, I
Give,
didn't hear that.
give him a second. Give him a second. He'll be back.
All right. If you guys are familiar with the Nuremberg codes, after the Germans experimented
We're
so
exploring
horrifically.
We have
You're still
explored
breaking.
every option legally to file our grievances.
I hear where you're going with that. And that's all we heard, by the way, was that last sentence. The very first Nuremberg Code, it says, the voluntary consent of the human subject is absolutely essential. That is the very first line in the Nuremberg Codes, which are to prevent people from doing things to you that you don't want done. They go over whether a person can force you to and go into a study, give you a fucking drug or any of that shit. And the first word out of the 10 codes, I think it is, I don't know, maybe that's something else. I think with 10 codes, the first word of the first line of the first sentence is the subject must absolutely
give
agree.
consent.
Yeah.
They must give consent.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Just like getting into your house.
We have seen the 2/3 already been displayed. The finalization will be when the governors of the Confederated States announce a secession lodge. When you hear a secession lodge, when you hear a secession lodge, to know that you are now in a kinetic civil war.
Which Texas has announced. Which Texas has announced on as already. So I talked to in Hebrew.
Texas
You probably
and
know who
Florida.
who Don Huffins is, right?
Yes.
Okay, I spoke with him yesterday. As a matter of fact, I had a meet and greet with him, and I spoke with Don Huffins. And it's funny because secession is the topic here in the state of Texas for 2022.
Two states are already up for it for succeeding now. And I was just telling them, no way it happens, they'll never allow it. But Hammer now makes me think it could be totally part of the plan.
Well, Joe, just know that if it goes down and all you guys, Texas is the tip of the fucking spear.
You are, and I wish we can go back in time. I will recruit every Texas fuck I can to come over here to Illinois and help us fight for our gun laws so they can't take them. I asked a girl from Texas, and I tricked her because I'm sneaky. I was like, so you guys carry guns in Texas, huh? Yeah. What about young motherfuckers? Yeah, anybody carry a gun. We proud of our stuff. Blah 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 blah. I give it 5 minutes. Let the conversation. I was like, hey, did you see the kid who was shot in Chicago? He's running from the cop. She's like, yeah, I saw it. He had a gun. They should have shot him. And I was like, whoa. So the kid in Texas, it's absolutely okay. He's supposed to. But the kid in Chicago has his back turned running. And because he has a gun, your mind says it's okay for him to be shot. What would that tell you? It tells me a lot. It screams that you're not using your mind. Someone else has tricked you, and you haven't gotten out of that technology mindset yet. I need Texans like fucking Hammer here. That's gonna be like, fuck no. At least I assume you, or I know these gun rights apply to everybody. Natural rights.
Well, put it like this. Rights see my gun safe.
That's
So
right.
he see my gun safe. And
And we pussies for every gun we fucking register. Don't that make us a pussy?
Well,
I like the saying I seen on fucking Facebook. I love it. When my guns shows a picture of a like a AR or something.
Yeah.
When they become outlawed, I become an outlaw.
Well, my question is that we obviously the ones that are awake to what's happening and what's going on. And my question is to all you guys, and each one of you can speak on this individually, and I'd actually like to know each one of your thoughts on this is, and in my personal opinion, I believe we're too far gone. We're too deep. The populace at this point can no longer be saved, and there's nothing that we can do to communicate to the masses that's going to wake them up to what we're speaking of here on this panel, because we will be labeled as conspiracy theorists or crazies or whatever word they decide to use. So my question is, do you guys think that it's too late in the game, and have we lost our rook? Have we lost our bishops?
Remember what I said earlier about in the military you learn to adapt and overcome? That's exactly what every fucking veteran in America is going to do.
Right. But I want to go one further. I want to
Whoa,
go.
whoa! Before you go, what'd you say every veteran in America is gonna do?
Adapt and overcome.
Yeah.
Every veteran in America will be a cop. They will be or National Guard. The veterans will be at your door.
The National Guard and the
There is
police
no damn way.
Veterans will be at your door.
I would rather die than to be in tyranny. I will
That's
be
a
damned
right.
if I'm going to be a slave to any son of a.
I will go down fighting, brother.
Listen, I
got a question for the
I
panel real
gotta,
quick.
I gotta cut out right quick, yo. This has been one of the greatest fucking conversations. I guarantee you, wherever I go from here, the conversation will not be as good. You gentlemen did very fucking well tonight.
Roger that.
Later, Joe. Cool.
How about us women?
Peace, brother.
My apologies, Michelle. I'm sorry, D. John and Michelle.
I
Great.
had to get you. I won't gonna let you skip out and say, "Well, all y'all gentlemen." I said, "Well, what about us women?"
Very
Shit.
good.
So I got a question. I got a question for the panel real quick. Are there any SOF operators or former SOF operators on the panel?
No.
No, I'm not.
I'm not.
Okay. In Israeli SOF, we have a saying, and there's a problem with society. And the problem with society is that nobody drinks from the fucking skulls of their enemies anymore.
Okay.
Nobody drinks from the skulls of their enemies anymore.
That's deep.
Instead, we apologize to them and pay them reparations.
Yeah.
Until we start drinking from the skulls of our enemies and start hanging people from the trees for treason, defamation.
I'm just an ex-sniper. That's all I am. So what can I say? Well, once a sniper, always a sniper. But there's no X in it. But you get what I mean. So
Marine recon?
No. Coast Guard sniper.
Understood. Well, that school is not easy.
No, it's not.
Well, I was a former OCATS canine operator. I was attached to a Sayeret unit in the Golani Brigade in the Golan Heights, overlooking Syria and Lebanon.
Oh, okay.
And so again, we're in a predicament here, folks. People need to realize exactly what's going on here. And for the weak and feeble-minded, they can't grasp the concept of what's going on.
All right.
Remember what I said earlier about the sheep?
Yep.
Sheeple.
I'm not no sheep, and I'm not no victim. So
we've been conditioned in the masses. I mean, America. I don't mean veterans necessarily, but
Before I get off here, I can tell you one thing. This Jew ain't getting on any trains.
yeah, I ain't getting on no fucking
Amen.
train.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
Well, hopefully, and I hate to say this, guys, in Hebrew, it's more aimed toward you, brother, but the day that time comes, I would only hope that I would be sitting to your side and pointing the rifle in the same direction.
That's a right.
Yeah.
After that, I hear that.
The French had the same situation, and they finally got fed up, and they started. That's why they invented a guillotine. They started cutting the heads off the rich and said, "We mean it."
Yeah.
And that's how change finally came about in France. And
What's the saying
faced,
about what's the saying about the tree of tyranny needs to be burned? I don't know.
The tree of
Joshua
liberty,
said
the tree of liberty must be replenished with the blood of the tyrants, both foreign and domestic.
There you go.
Correct. That was it.
KY, KY, can you give Hebrew my contact information?
I don't have his.
Let's see if I can. I'm gonna put it in the private chat.
If you put it in private, I'll send you Michelle's digits. Not a problem.
Okay.
You have to understand, I'm the keeper of the auditor list. I'm the secure list keeper. So,
well, just make sure whenever if something happens, that list gets burned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I got so much technology on my phone where when fake IP addresses, fake man, I got VPNs, and I had all kinds of shit between my phones, and no hacker can hack into them, but I know they can listen in. But that's when they did when Bush did away with the carnivore system to bring in the New World Order, because they was already trying to listen in to everybody's conversations, but before 9/11 happened. And when he took office, the FBI told him we can't do that. And then 9/11 happened, and then Congress wrote him a blank check on listening on everybody's conversations, which was a carnivore program. Now I know that
national security. Yeah.
I know that platform is gone, and what platform they have now is 30 times more sophisticated than that was. That platform.
Good. I don't want to hear me talking on the phone. Their ears burn.
Y'all see that in the private chat?
Yeah.
All right. But just keep this in mind for any Texas residents. I am an 0702 Class 3 manufacturer.
Nice.
So I need to get off of here and get some dinner in the belly, but it was a pleasure. Thank y'all for having me up.
You're welcome.
Well, Hebrew, before you leave, man, I hope that that license is specifically for certain people and not for just the general population, if you know what I mean.
I maintain the right to reserve the sale.
Roger that.
Have a good one, Hebrew.
Have a good evening.
Hang on, Hebrew.
Too,
we're going to be having some vet panels Thursday and Friday. Wrights will be there. Michelle will probably be there. I'll be there because
I'll be there.
I'm the co-host. Upstate. I've got a number of female friends. We're going to try to put together a female vet panel also to get their side of things. I've got friends that span just at the end of Vietnam all the way to current. Because some of my friends are 9 years older than I am. I'm 65. I'll be 66 next month. And my one friend Darla, she's 9 years older than I am. So she's got a little more of the back issues and things that had history that went on before my time. So
I've also got a lot of information on. My father was a coder and decoder for Pershing class nuclear weapons, U.S. Army.
Fuck.
Damn.
So I got a lot of stories about the nuclear class field from
yeah, the
70.
Pershings went out just about 74.
No, well, 76 you had class 2, and that was diminished in 1984.
Right.
Because
Wow.
I know that I had several men in my unit in 76. They were in Pershings, and the units were being deleted and eliminated in 75 already. 76.
Yeah, that was Pershing 1.
Okay.
Yeah, my dad was Pershing 2.
Oh, okay.
When Reagan signed the Intermediate Ballistic Missile Treaty, and we pulled all of our missiles out of Germany and Turkey, then we were in
Right.
Germany. I grew up in Germany when I was a kid. So,
I'm
but
not
it's a
gonna tell
pleasure,
you how
folks.
old
I
I
appreciate
am,
you
'cause
having me on.
Yeah,
I'm not
brother,
gonna
you
tell
stay
you.
free, man.
I'm not gonna tell you how old I am because that's really don't feel. No man's gonna know my age, my bank account, or my waist size, or my rack size.
Michelle, you sound like Darth Vader.
Well, I want to get off here too, guys. I want to go spend some time with the family, and I just got out of court today, and so.
Hey, thank you
I
for coming
appreciate
up,
you guys.
both y'all, Hebrew and Foulmouth. Dude, I couldn't have done this without you guys. You heard what Joe Cool said. This is the best panel, and there ain't going to be any more like this since.
Well, it's the best one so far. There could be better ones. We'll see.
Yeah, we're gonna work
We're just
back.
starting. We're just starting this.
Yeah,
We're just getting started at this. V for Vets is just getting started. You're just getting started. You know,
I have 2 of these under my belt, and I want to do more. I mean, this is very beneficial to a lot of people.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate all you guys, and I appreciate everyone in the chat for joining in on Upstate stuff. I appreciate you for having me, Upstate. I really do, man. It's
You're
always
very
a
welcome,
pleasure.
brother.
But I'll see you guys later. I appreciate everybody. I love all you guys. I love all my fellow Americans. You guys stay free.
Hey,
if you have
Peace,
more,
brother.
if you have more veterans friends, get the
Before
word
you
out.
leave, you get my
If they
information?
don't wanna put their face on, we don't need to see their face. We
No,
only need
just
to.
their avatar.
We just need to see their face. The
When
host
they
does
come up.
before when they come up. After that, we don't need. No one needs to see your face. You know.
Yeah.
All right. I'll talk to some.
FM, did you get my information too?
I got to put it in the phone first. As soon as I get off of here, I'll put his information in the phone, and he'll get yours.
Okay.
As Upstates
All
would
right,
say,
guys.
there's no
Later.
charge being on this panel.
Do what?
As Upstate, as he always says, there's no charge being on this panel. It's free.
That's right.
Come on up.
This is, man, come as you are. This is not really an open panel, but it's for open-minded veterans ready to get over their fucking like PTSD, and if you have any other conditions, you're losing limbs or you lost limbs or anything.
I need a new body. How about that?
This is a place for everybody to just chill and talk about the life like this last 2, separation from service. I think that's a big deal, especially with a lot that are coming out now and not doing a damn thing and getting into all kinds of trouble and shit. I mean, I could see when I got out and I got in trouble, but not really bad. And I was very irritable with my wife, so her and I got a divorce. And
After she threw a couple of iron skillet frying pans upside your head.
I did what I didn't do what I preach. and something that the Army taught all of us, or the military taught us.
Yeah.
Adapt and overcome.
Yeah,
I didn't do that.
No,
I didn't
but
know how.
I guarantee you that Iron Skillet did.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And
Hey,
dude,
Didn't
I'm
really,
gonna jump
you
off.
didn't know what to adapt to. You couldn't quite put your finger on it.
that's what I just said.
Well,
I
yeah,
didn't know how. I mean, that shit, man. That was a very. It was like I had culture shock.
Oh, you had some kind of shock. That's for when that Iron Skillet went upside your head.
That happened a few times after.
Oh, okay.
Now, maybe if it happened in country, that might have rang a bell or two, but I don't know if it would have changed the outcome. But I am who I am today because of all that, and I wouldn't give it up for the world.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna take off. I'm gonna get call Bud up. I promised him. I
all
gotta
right.
give him a call.
Y'all
So
stay safe. Be well.
be good,
Be
everybody.
well, be
All right.
safe.
You guys have a good night. Thank
Glad to
you.
know everybody.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Upstate.
Upstate. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I guess
Thank
I
you
better
guys
go.
for coming up.
Dogs out.
All right. Have a good night.
I see you,
All right.
Michelle. See you guys, everybody.
Good night, everybody in chat.
Good
Good
night,
night.
Dee. Good night,
Night,
Michelle. Good night,
Michelle.
everybody in chat. Y'all have fun. See
Good night,
y'all
Update.
later.
All right, alligators.
Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go.
Hey, when you next time you talk to Bud, tell him I got a good